Hello, my beautiful and fiery Aries souls, and welcome back to Astrology Unlocked. I am your guide on this cosmic journey, and today we stand on the precipice of a revelation so profound, so intensely personal, that it may shake the very foundations of your world. Are you ready? I want you to take a deep, cleansing breath with me. Breathe in courage and exhale doubt. Because we need to talk about an energy that has been silently weaving its way into your sacred space. Have you ever stood in the radiant blaze of your own success, in the triumphant glow of your own power, only to feel a sudden, inexplicable chill, a cold shadow that falls over you, not from an enemy you can see, but from a smile you thought you could trust? Aries, you won't believe who is secretly trying to extinguish your sacred flame, and I have to tell you, my dear warrior, your spirit guides are sounding the alarm. This is a message they desperately need you to hear. This isn't about a curse cast from a distance or a threat whispered in anger. No, this is something far more insidious. It is the silent, corrosive energy of envy, of a deep-seated resentment, hiding behind the mask of a loved one, a trusted ally, a person you once shielded with your own magnificent strength. And right now, your intuition, that fiery compass deep within your soul, is screaming at you. Perhaps it's a recurring dream that leaves you unsettled, a sequence of numbers that appears with startling frequency, or just a raw, gut-level feeling that someone is sending a cruel, invisible arrow straight toward your heart. My dear Aries, this video is not just a warning, it is a sacred awakening, a divine intervention from your celestial guardians. Because the one who wishes you to fall, the one who cannot bear the brilliance of your light, may very well be the one you once gave your entire heart to protect. And if you are feeling this, if this message is already making your heart beat a little faster, then I want you to take a moment and send your intention upward. In the comments below, simply write, "Lord, please bless me." Let this be your prayer, your shield, your declaration of faith. And if you have not yet joined our tribe of celestial warriors, press that subscribe button now. Do not miss the cosmic updates designed to protect and empower your magnificent soul. In the transformative journey we are about to embark upon together, we will unveil a dark and challenging truth. We will explore a karmic cycle that has been repeating in your life, perhaps for lifetimes. And most importantly, we will unlock the celestial key for you to reclaim your inner fire before it is too late. You need to know who this is, and you need to understand why this is happening now. You know, my beautiful Aries, you walk into a room and the entire energetic frequency shifts. You are a force of nature. But have you ever entered a space, perhaps your own home, and felt the energy suddenly become heavy, thick, and suffocating? No one has said a word, no one has made a move, but you feel it. That chilling sensation, that feeling of being watched by a gaze that isn't admiring, but assessing, judging, and silently hoping you will falter. Your soul, your fiery warrior spirit, doesn't curl up in fear. No, that is not the Aries way. Instead, it feels a sudden, chilling resistance, as if someone has thrown a wet blanket over your sacred flame. That, my friend, is not your imagination. That is a profound and celestial truth being delivered to you from the unseen realm. As a child of Mars, the very first sign of the zodiac, you are blessed with an intuition that is raw, primal, and incredibly potent. It is not the gentle, watery whisper that other signs experience. Yours is a gut-level, visceral knowing. It's the instinct that tells you when to charge forward and, more critically, when there is a hidden danger in your path. You feel what others try to conceal behind pleasantries. You sense the dissonance between their words and their true intentions. You can spot the flicker of envy in an eye that is pretending to be happy for you. But here lies the great Aries paradox. Does it not? Your heart, so brave and so profoundly optimistic, always wants to charge ahead, to believe in the best, to see the good in everyone. You are a leader, a pioneer, and you want to bring everyone along on your victorious journey. And so, you often override that gut feeling. You dismiss it as paranoia or negativity because your forward-moving spirit cannot bear the thought of betrayal from within your own ranks. You think, surely they are on my side, they love me. Let me be unequivocally clear, because your guides are screaming this message for you. Not everyone who smiles in your direction wishes for your peace. Not everyone who applauds your victories is secretly cheering you on. Some people draw close to you, not to share in the warmth of your magnificent fire, but to study it, to understand it, so they can find the perfect way to extinguish it. Why? Because your unapologetic trailblazing light doesn't just illuminate your own path. It casts a harsh glare on the darkness and stagnation within them, and they cannot bear to see their own shadows. You may find this hard to believe, my beautiful warrior, but yes, it is profoundly possible that someone who once claimed to love you, perhaps someone you are thinking of right now, is secretly hoping you will stumble. A viewer, a magnificent Aries soul, just like you, wrote to me not long ago, and her words were so powerful. She said, "I don't understand it. Every time I get a promotion, my partner becomes quiet and distant. When I share a piece of good news, they find a way to poke a hole in it. When I'm feeling down, they almost seem relieved. It makes me feel like my happiness is an inconvenience to them." My dear Aries, listen to me. You are not an inconvenience. Your joy is not a burden. You are simply too brilliantly alive, and that radiance is an unbearable mirror for those who have allowed their own inner fire to dwindle into embers of regret and envy. Your very existence is a testament to the courage they lack. So let's talk about your intuition, your divine alarm system. Don't you dare ignore it any longer. If you have been waking up in the dead of night with a jolt of anxiety that you cannot explain, if you have found yourself instinctively flinching or pulling back from someone's touch, even when they are saying all the right things, if you have heard that quiet but firm voice in the back of your mind say, "This is not safe, move, now," then, for the love of all that is sacred, you must listen. You are not being dramatic. You are not being overly sensitive. You are receiving direct, unfiltered energetic intelligence from your celestial team, from your ancestors, from the very core of your warrior soul. They are telling you in no uncertain terms that the ground on which you are standing is compromised. The fortress you thought was safe has a traitor within its walls. Have you ever had that powerful, undeniable gut feeling telling you to walk away from someone even when your logical mind couldn't find a single concrete reason? If you have, you are in the company of countless Aries souls who have stood at the exact same crossroads. Some listened to that inner fire and blazed a new trail to freedom. Others ignored it, believing they could fix the situation with their sheer force of will, only to find themselves burned and depleted. Remember this, my dear friend, not all wounds are inflicted by a sword. Some of the deepest, most agonizing pain comes from the slow, methodical erosion of your spirit. It comes from the energy of a cold stare across the dinner table. It comes from the deafening silence that meets your excitement. It comes from being slowly and deliberately made to feel small in the very relationship where you once stood as a giant, a protector, and a source of inspiration. The person inflicting this wound might not even consciously hate you. That's what makes it so confusing. They just cannot stand the effortless way you shine. It may sound bizarre, but the more you step into your authentic power, the more you become a living, breathing reflection of all the unhealed, fearful, and stagnant parts of them. And when they look at you, they don't see you anymore. They see the life they were too afraid to live, the risks they were too cowardly to take. And so they lash out, not with a fist, but with a subtle, energetic poison designed to make you doubt your own light. But here is the cosmic truth you must anchor yourself in right now. It is not your fault. You were not born to dim your light, to make others feel comfortable in their mediocrity. You were born to be a supernova, to awaken, to lead, and to inspire. And on that sacred journey, some will be drawn to your flame because you helped them ignite their own. And some will despise you because you unintentionally reveal the darkness they have refused to face. I want you to pause right now, just for a moment. Take a deep breath and ask your soul this question. When I am with this person, does their energy feel like a warm embrace that fuels my fire, or a chilling wind that makes me shrink back? If the answer is that you shrink, even a little, then you already have your answer. You already know who is sending that toxic vibrational arrow in your direction, even when their words are coated in sugar. Dark, envious souls never march into your life holding a banner that reads, "I am here to drain your energy and break your spirit." No, they arrive disguised as lovers, as best friends, as business partners, even as family members who claim to have your best interests at heart. But your soul, your fiery Aries soul, always knows the truth. The only question is, have you been listening? If you are watching this video, it is because the universe believes it is time for you to return to that primal, powerful intuition. Right below this video, I want you to make a sacred vow to yourself. Type, "I choose to trust my warrior's instinct." This is more than just a comment. It is a declaration to the cosmos. It is a signal that you are ready, once and for all, to protect your sacred inner flame. And now, we must go deeper. We must unmask this energy completely. Who are they really? And why, on a soul level, do they wish for your downfall? Do not turn away from this. You need to understand this truth before it's too late. You see, my dear Aries, there are people who were once magnetically drawn to your light. They loved you, or at least they loved what your light did for them. They basked in your warmth. They were energized by your courage. They felt more alive simply by being in your orbit. You were their healer, their motivator, the soft place they could land, and the fire that kept them going. But then, a magnificent and cosmic shift occurred. You started to turn that incredible healing fire inward. You began to heal yourself. You started setting boundaries. You started prioritizing your own dreams, your own missions. You began to build a kingdom of peace and success for yourself, and that is when everything changed. The very peace you so beautifully cultivated for yourself unintentionally became a blinding spotlight, illuminating their own deep-seated insecurities, their own lack of ambition, their own refusal to grow. And so, they began to silently pull away. Or worse, they stayed, but their energy became strange, foreign. The gaze that was once filled with adoration turned colder, more critical. The words that once lifted you up became laced with subtle barbs and backhanded compliments. A chasm of distance opened up between you, a space so cold and vast you could not name it, but you could feel it in every cell of your being. And because you are an Aries with a loyal heart, you began to blame yourself. You started asking those agonizing questions. What did I do wrong? Did I become too much for them? Did my success make them feel small? Did my self-love make them feel unneeded? You have been torturing yourself with these questions, haven't you? Let me release you from that prison right now. The truth is, you did absolutely nothing wrong. The profound, unshakable truth is that your soul is evolving at a rapid pace, and that person's vibrational frequency can no longer keep up. They are not aligned with where you are going. They don't want you dead in a literal sense, of course not. But on a subconscious, energetic level, they are starting to wish you wouldn't succeed so brilliantly. They wish you wouldn't be so much happier than them. They wish you wouldn't achieve anything beyond the comfortable, predictable box they had once placed you in. This, my friends, is a silent, insidious jealousy. It is a toxic, negative energy field disguised behind a familiar face and loving memories. They will never admit it, not even to themselves, but you can feel it. It is the reason you have started to feel cautious, even when they pay you a compliment. It is the reason you feel a strange, subconscious need to downplay your achievements, to apologize for being too joyful, for being too radiant, for being too you. If you have ever found yourself in that heartbreaking situation, I want you to reclaim your power this very second. Write this declaration in the comments. I will not apologize for my light, because you, my magnificent Aries, were not born to shrink. You were not born to hide in the shadows, just so another person's fragile ego won't feel threatened. You were born to set the world on fire, and if your blaze makes someone uncomfortable, that is a reflection of their issues, not a flaw in your brilliance. Sometimes the person who most wants you to fall is not a declared enemy, but the one who once claimed to love you the most, not because they are inherently evil, but because they never learned how to build their own fire, and your independent, self-sustaining inferno makes them feel powerless and abandoned. What they offered you was not love, it was attachment. It was a parasitic need for your energy. And now that you have broken free from that energetic cord, you have unintentionally become a monumental threat to their distorted, codependent sense of stability. You did nothing wrong. Let that sink in. You are simply growing, and authentic growth, like a powerful earthquake, will always cause whatever is not built on a solid foundation of truth to crumble away. If you are realizing with a heavy heart that someone is no longer a safe harbor for your soul, do not force yourself to maintain that connection out of a misguided sense of loyalty. True love, the kind of love a warrior soul like yours deserves, does not demand that you sacrifice your mission or your light. True love stands beside you, cheering as your fire grows brighter. True love will walk with you through every transformation. True love knows how to hold you with reverence, not imprison you with fear and manipulation. And if your primal Aries instinct is screaming at you that something is fundamentally wrong, then you cannot afford to ignore it. That instinct is the first language your spirit guides use to protect you from harm. It is their gentle but urgent plea, warning you that someone is secretly wishing for your downfall because they cannot bear the magnificent truth that you are standing strong, and perhaps even stronger, without them. I know this is a terrifying realization. I know it hurts, but facing this harsh truth is infinitely better than living forever in a beautiful, soul-crushing illusion. Because the moment you dare to look this truth in the eye is the moment your true healing can begin. It is the moment you can finally release the toxic relationship you have been calling familiarity and begin to choose connections that you can call sacred and safe. And I am going to tell you something of monumental importance in the next part of our journey. I am going to explain why this time forgiveness is not the answer. Because sometimes, my dear Aries, forgiveness doesn't make you enlightened. It just puts you right back on the battlefield you fought so hard to escape. You are too close to your freedom now, and no one, absolutely no one, deserves the power to drag you back to the starting line. So, if you are still with me, let me reveal the real reason why those who once loved you now want to see you fall, and why this time you absolutely cannot afford to overlook it. My dear Aries, there are pivotal moments in life, cosmic turning points, where we do not need an apology. We do not need someone to fall to their knees and confess their wrongdoing. We do not need a desperate, late-night text message filled with empty promises. In these moments, we need only one thing: the raw, unshakable courage not to turn back. Forgiveness is not a celestial currency you are obligated to distribute to everyone who wounds you. And forgiveness is certainly not always a sign of spiritual enlightenment. Let me be very clear. Sometimes forgiving too quickly is how you hand-deliver your enemy the very sword they will use to stab you in the back again. For a warrior like you, this is a critical distinction. How many times have you said, "It's okay," while your soul was screaming in agony? How many times have you put on your brave face and charged back into a battle for a love that was not worthy of your strength? Some wounds are not meant to be healed by forgiveness. They are meant to be healed by a strategic and silent withdrawal. They are healed by closing, locking, and fortifying the door that was once thrown open for someone who did not know how to cherish the sacred space within. Because when you forgive someone who has not truly awakened, who has not done the deep, soul-wrenching work to change, you do not give them a chance to grow. You only teach them one dangerous lesson: that hurting you has no lasting consequences, because your brave, optimistic heart will always come back for more. And that, my dear Aries, is the most dangerous pattern of all. I once knew an Aries woman, a true force of nature. She loved with the intensity of 1,000 suns, just as your heart so often does. She loved with every fiber of her being, a love so immense that she was willing to forgive her partner's betrayal not just once, but 3 times. The first time she thought, "Everyone makes mistakes. We are warriors. We fight for this." The second time, she believed in his promises of change. The third time, she no longer believed in him, but she was desperately clinging to the idealized version of him she had built in her own mind. It was when she finally realized that she no longer felt pain, but just a profound, hollow emptiness, that she knew she no longer loved him. She was just addicted to the meaning she had poured into that relationship, a tragic compassion for the pain she had endured. That wasn't love, it was a trauma bond. So Aries, if you are in the process of forgiving someone right now, I need you to ask yourself this brutally honest question. Are you forgiving them because they have truly earned it and have demonstrated profound change? Or are you forgiving them because you are terrified of losing a part of your identity that has become entangled with them. Some spiritual teachers will tell you that forgiveness is about freeing yourself. But I am here to tell you a deeper truth. You only truly free yourself when you recognize that they no longer deserve access to your energy field. Because some apologies are nothing more than strategic maneuvers, and some returns are about re-establishing control, not about reconnecting with love. You do not have to be the most generous person in the room. You just have to be the freest, free from the karmic loop, free from the repeated lessons, free from the illusion of a we that no longer serves your soul's evolution. If you are hearing this right now, and a specific person comes to mind, causing a dull ache in your heart, pause, take a breath, and whisper this to your own soul. I choose to protect my fire. You have nothing to prove to anyone. You do not have to perform the role of the magnanimous, all-forgiving hero. You simply need to be radically honest with how you truly feel. Because your soul did not incarnate on this earth to be a sacrificial lamb for someone else's unresolved lessons. Your soul came here to learn, to conquer, and to remember the brilliant, untarnished light that you have always been. If you are wondering, am I being too harsh? Am I being too cold for choosing not to forgive? Then remember this critical distinction. Coldness is when you feel nothing at all. Awareness is when you finally understand your sacred boundaries. You can still wish someone well from a great distance. You can still send them blessings for their own healing journey in your heart. But you do not have to open the gates of your kingdom to them ever again. Because, Aries, this time is different. This is a karmic showdown. This is a cycle you are being divinely invited to shatter once and for all. This time, you must make a decision not just with your passionate emotions, but with the full, conscious power of your soul's growth. Because karma doesn't just repeat lessons, it repeats the people who embody those lessons again and again until you choose a different response. I would not be surprised if, right now, a specific person is flashing in your mind's eye, a familiar voice, a gaze that once made you feel like the only person in the world, an embrace that felt like home. But that very same person was also the one who made you feel the most profoundly alone when you needed them the most. And if they have not fundamentally changed, then you already know the truth. Not all love is worth trading your peace for. If you have ever forgiven someone only to be wounded in the exact same way again, I want you to write this down. I choose to protect my soul. That is the first, most crucial step toward your freedom. It is a powerful declaration to the universe that you are ready for a new chapter, one that is not haunted by old wounds, one where forgiveness is not a knee-jerk reaction born of fear, but a conscious choice rooted in profound self-respect. And you know what? You do not need closure from the person who hurt you. You do not need their confession or their answers. You only need one thing: the strength to close that old door yourself and the courage to blast open a new one with your own two hands. Whether they ever apologize or not, whether they ever feel a shred of regret or not, you still deserve a life of peace. A mind free from the poison of doubt. A heart that is not held in suspended animation by promises that were always destined to be broken. Because right after the lesson comes the moment to act. And if you stay in that toxic energy field for even 1 second longer, you risk ending up right back in the prison you once fought so valiantly to escape. Do not allow yourself to relearn the same painful lesson just because you can't let go of someone the universe has already powerfully and decisively removed from your destined path. In the next part, I will help you learn to hear the whispers of your spiritual guides, those signals that you may have dismissed as mere coincidences, but are, in fact, urgent celestial warnings. And I will explain why, if you do not act in time, the divine door of protection that is currently open for you may not stay open for much longer.